Hey, good morning, Rashmi. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. That's great. How is the Sunday morning for you?
the army. You have to just walk.
Okay, good morning, Vajanti. Good morning, Rashmi. Right.
Morning, sir. Sorry, I'm late. My maid didn't turn up, so.
No worries, no worries. That's completely fine. I just on a lighter note, whenever I come back from office to home, and if I want to evaluate the mood of my wife, I just ask one question, and the question is, did the maid come today? And if the maid has not come, then I know her mood is spoiled. So she will start complaining and saying everything about that. And if the maid has come, then she will say, yeah, yeah, absolutely, everything is fine. Then we come to know. So every wife is directly connected or positively correlated to the appearance of her maid in the daily life. That's it.
No. So my husband is intelligent. Morning he came to know she's not coming. So by the time I could run and come back, he had prepared the breakfast so that the rest of the things I can do it.
That's great. That's a very good gesture from your husband. But just ask him one question, whether is it from out of love or out of fear.
No, that's out of interest. I think every man should go and stay in US. 3 years he was in US. He's
Yeah, yeah.
started enjoying cooking now.
That's true. That's true. Staying abroad always inspire you to be a good chef. Even I was in
Yeah,
Australia for 2 years, so yeah, I
correct.
can I can relate to it.
So he does it out of interest.
Okay.
So
Okay.
earlier I used to get upset the maid is not there. He's like, Acha, the maid is not there, so what?
That's good. That's really good. Okay,
Okay, sir.
let's start from yesterday's where we left off. So
Yes, sir.
yesterday, I think what we got stuck was we were trying to run this particular thing, Amazon and AIM item, and to see how many such records exist when the customer is Amazon and AIM. And yesterday, when we were trying to run, it did not run because it was something which I did not anticipate, but I overlooked certain things, and that's why it did not run. But I figured out later what was the mistake. So if I click anywhere in this particular thing and I go back to my data tab and then go to the advanced filter, okay, here the problem yesterday was that I had kept it to A1 to G3. G3 is basically blank over here. So whenever you have a blank region, don't use that line at all. So I modified that from G1 to G2, I mean G3 to G2. Earlier when we were doing the example, yesterday we had kept Amazon over here, and then we kept something like I think it was the other thing, which was Costco.
Costco.
So because Costco was there on the third row, that's why we had put the region from A1 to G3. But now we have removed Costco. We put another attribute over here called product, called AIM item, and there is nothing in G3. So when there is nothing in the G3 line, you need to remove that G3 from your criteria. So if you go to the advanced filter and you go to the criteria range, I removed that G3 and I just kept it from A1 to G2. And the moment I do this and I say copy to another location, this is the location which I've picked up, M7 to S uh, S7, and the moment I click on OK, you will come to know that all the records related to Amazon as a customer and AIM as a product will start appearing over here. And these are like 40 line items. Okay. So any confusion with regards to how the advanced filter works?
Sir, once if you can just quickly run through.
Sure. So let's do one thing. Let's get customer. Okay, let's get to know where the sales representative is Gigi. Okay, so let's try without the equal to and see if it's working. Usually it does work, but officially, as per the instructions given by Microsoft, they always say that whenever you want to use advanced filter and you want to give your criteria, it is advisable to use an apostrophe, then equal to, and use your parameter. So here in this case is Gigi. We should actually do it like this, but let's try. Let's try both the ways. Let's keep with the equal to, and then we will rerun it without the equal to and see if we are getting the same result. So I'm putting the sales representative as Gigi, and let's say how many products Gigi has sold in the West region. Okay, so equal to West region. Okay, and probably another region, say North, and let's see if we are getting both these regions over here as the answer. Let's see. So I'm doing North. So I'm trying to get the region is West and North, whereas my sales representative is Gigi. Okay, how many amount of sale transactions she is recording for the West region and North region? You got the premise of what we are trying to fire a query over here, the filter over here, that my sales representative name is Gigi, and I'm interested in knowing the sale transaction for the West region and the North region. Okay. Any questions on this particular thing? The premise which I've set up over here.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. I go to the main record. I click on the advanced filter. Now this time I'll have to modify my criteria range because it is A1 to G2, whereas I have some record in the third line also. So I'll change it back to G3 over here. And let's try to copy this to another location. Another location is M7 to S7. Now let's try to click on OK and let's see how many records do we get over here. So when I click on this, okay, I think something has gone wrong over here. Let me remove this and let me try it again. Okay, I believe we need to also do something like this. So let me try. Let me see if this is working fine. So I copy it to another location and I click on OK. Yeah, that's it. So the the thing is when you're giving two regions when you're giving two regions over here, West and North, then your sales representative also should appear as many times, you know. If you're doing it, if you're interested in two regions, yeah, and if the sales representative name is common for both the regions, you should mention specifically the sales representative name in both the transactions, and only then it will definitely work because it picks up line by line what is the criteria. So first it goes over here, picks up what is the region is West, the sales representative is Gigi, then it picks up the transaction related for that, it will throw it over here, then it will go back, check for region as the North, and then filter out with the sales representative again as Gigi and give you this information that for both these regions, North and West. Now let's see if we are getting this thing correct. So I'm going to apply filter and see we are getting the region as North and West. The sales representative is Gigi over here, and we are getting in all say 257 transactions which were recorded by them. So this is a small example which I wanted to give you. Now say you want to apply an and filter across different attributes. So say, let's say you're interested in knowing what is the product. The product would be say XOL items. Okay. So here it is the region is West, the sales representative name is E and XOL item. So how many sale transaction happened for the lady called Gigi in the West region with the product name was XOL item. So for this, again, I go back to my data set. I click on the advanced filter. I'll have to modify my criteria because I don't have anything in the third row. So I can remove this tree. I can keep it back to 2 and I just click on OK and you will get to know that all the transactions have reduced now. It has come to region as only West with the sales representative as Gigi and with the product as XOL item. So we get to know there are 250, sorry, 27 items present over here, which uh, fit into this criteria. Okay. Any confusion on this?
No, sir. Sir,
Absolutely fine.
I had
Yeah.
one question.
Yeah.
Why we have to use advanced? Only because the data is more, or because this can be sorted in the regular sorting
Because there
also,
are
right?
and or so we need advance, right?
See, there are two reasons for using the advanced filter. One is your filtering criteria. Say if someone, okay, let's do one thing. If somebody is saying that you give me a filter on this, okay, apply a filter on this particular criteria and give me the answer. So what would you do is you'll go to this, you'll say, okay, the region is West, okay, and Gigi is the criteria, all right, and then here the product is XOL item. Usually, if you don't use the advanced filter, this is the filter which you which you apply. This is the way.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
You both agree
Yeah.
on this? Okay.
Yeah.
Say you send this data to your boss. He told you give me the set of data which where the region is West, sales representative is Gigi, and product is XOL item. Now you give him this particular information, okay, but your 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 manager maybe he's not so proficient with this Excel, okay. He doesn't know how to be comfortable with the Excel, okay. He may not be aware of this particular thing that this is a filter, okay. Say someone who doesn't have a knowledge of Excel, when he looks at your file, he gets to know the correct answer over here, which is 27 records, which are fitting that criteria. But he may not be knowing. He may be thinking that, oh, this is something, and maybe he does something and he removes one of the filter. Okay, so the problem over here is that anyone who is not so proficient with the Excel, he may not be able to read this filtering criteria correctly. Okay, he may see all these records like Gigi is appearing, this is West, this is this. Okay, that's absolutely fine. But what basically what are the attributes on which you have put that particular filter? Okay, that can cause some readability problem, just to comprehend how the filtering mechanism worked, what were the filters applied, what logic you had applied on this. Now this is a very straightforward because we have only one values in each of these attributes. Say there are 5 values in each of the attributes. Say there is west region, there is southeast, there is north, there is south. All these multiple values are there. Then it becomes even more complicated to read what kind of values are inserted in each of the regions. Okay, so the customer or the senior management guy will have to start studying this data. He may be afraid to remove the filters also in the first place. Okay, for him it will be a complicated job to understand what logic went behind to get this data. So for those reasons, it is always best to show what is your criteria. You can show it right at the top what your criteria are, and then you filter out this data. And the thing is, you're not even filtering in this particular region, you're giving it in a separate location. You're filtering that data and you're showing that out of this entire data set, this is your data set which you wanted, and you can
So,
just
yeah,
focus
so my
on those
second
records.
question was in the regular filters sorting, we cannot choose to extract this data and put it in another column like we do in
You
advance?
can see, like you can go back and you can copy this data. Okay, this will copy. Now, when you're copying, please ensure that you have visible cells selected. Okay, otherwise, sometimes what happens is that unwanted records also get selected. Those which are filtered and hidden, they also get selected if you don't select the visible cells only. How do you get the visible cells? It's very simple. You just copy this, you press Alt and colon. When you press Alt and colon, you will see only the visible cells are getting a slight border, okay, around them, and then you copy it and you take it to another location. Say you add a new a workbook over here, worksheet over here, and you say, okay, your filtered information is over here, and that's absolutely fine. But the question over here is that uh, it becomes a bit difficult in explaining what criteria. So you'll have to put an effort to show your criteria separately in a commentary, or maybe on top, like what I have done. So the better way would be, you can keep these filtering criteria right at the top. Okay, even for you, if you're trying to explain your data to anyone, it becomes very easy for referring on the top that these are the criteria which are applied, and this is what we have got as an output after filtering. Okay, that is one reason. I'm just giving you one reason so far, but the second very important reason is like I said yesterday, that if your record or if your data set crosses more than 10, more than 50,000 data, or more than a lakh, or maybe 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, as it goes very lengthy, and if there are many multiple values in a particular attribute, the searching criteria, the filtering criteria goes for a toss. It's so huge that even when you click on any of these filters, okay, this list goes on very long, and at the end it shows that it cannot. There is a limitation for filtering. It cannot show you all the records. There are only certain records which will be visible for you in your filtering criteria. Okay, I hope you got the point. No?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, I'm just going to do one small experiment to put my point. Say this is a serial number, and this is one, and then I keep this as 1 plus 1. I keep on adding this number, and say I go to X, right? I go to 5, and I go to something like X. Okay, maybe I put an extra 0 somewhere. Okay, I've gone all the way down, putting Control D. I'm trying to generate those many records for myself. Okay, so these many records are there. Now, if I apply a filter on this particular record, okay, on column X, and say I'm trying to filter. Now you see what you get at the end. Do you read this? Not all items showing. Vajanti and Rashmi, are you able to read this particular message?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So this becomes a limitation. It doesn't show you if you have multiple unique records in your filtering. It doesn't show you all the information. By default, it will show you only up to the first 10,000 records. It will not be able to show you anything further from there. Okay, that is a limitation of the filtering, the traditional filters. But if I apply a filter on this at the top, say I say the serial number, okay, and I tell I'm interested in say 50,000. Okay, I want this particular number filtered. So how do I do this? I just go to the advanced filter. Okay, first of all, let me remove the filter. I go to the advanced filter. I say this is the region. right from X7 to this particular region, my criteria range would be not this, but I will give it as X and this. Oh, I think I goofed up somewhere. Uh, my criteria range will be here, this too. Okay. And once I've given this, I'll say copy to another location. So let's keep it over here. Let's filter it over here. So the moment I do this now, okay, although it's like uh, uh, doing with the mathematical calculation, but it's able to filter out this information 50,000 and give me quickly. But if I do this from the traditional filter, it will take a lot of time to filtering and going below, because it's basically searching for this number using some algorithm, okay, and the traditional filters. So in this particular way, the algorithm is better. It is manufactured more, constructed more beautifully, more accurately, more consistent and fast as compared to the traditional way of filtering. And that's why there are these two things, which actually play an important role in getting your filtering criteria correct. So the reason why you saw those messages right now was because I have done this plus one thing. If I remove the plus one thing, it will run even more smoother. Okay. So any confusion with regards to this advanced filter?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
I
sir.
hope you guys are able to understand why I use the advanced filter and what are the benefits of the advanced filter also. That's great. Now we have under 10 minutes, but let me give you a premise of a situation which we are trying to cover now. And I'll share another link with you guys and we will continue on this topic. So the topic which I'm trying to cover now is on cell protection. Okay. So tell me one thing, frankly, okay? There will be some situations in life you may have faced that you worked on certain calculations, okay? You worked on certain part of your worksheet which had complex calculations, which you spent a lot of time reading some paper and then transforming those instructions on the paper into an Excel via some logic. You did a good amount of research on that. You did a very good calculation, and then after you have done this calculation, you have to share this file with your colleagues, with some other people. You want to source some information from them, and what you expect them is to write their data over here in these cells which you see on the top. Okay, the moment they enter any information over here, the calculations start happening over here, and all these metrics are getting produced. Okay, but after you send this file to someone, somebody had a curiosity कि भाई वैजंती और रश्मि ने किया क्या है, ये कौन सा कैलकुलेशन किया है इन लोग ने, and they did something to your file and they messed up your formula. Okay, the formula was messed up completely, and all your mehnat which you had performed for 1 hour or 2 hour by reading that paper, transforming instructions into this complex logic, has gone for a toss within a few seconds. Okay, have you faced this kind of problem anywhere? Like आपने कुछ करके रखा है और लोगों ने आपने किसी को शेयर किया and they mess up the entire calculation for you. Have you?
No, sir. I haven't done such calculations only.
Okay. What about you, Rashmi? Rashmi seems to be busy with the Monday morning breakfast, I guess. Okay. So क्या होता है कि a lot of time you are dependent on other people to provide certain information, and you also want to preserve what kind of information you have maintained in the file. You want to maintain the integrity of those calculations. And at the same time, you want to also fetch the fresh input from your colleagues or from those people with whom you are sharing the file. Okay. So far, have you got the the premise of the problem which you are trying to fix over here? आप लोग को समझा मैं
Yes,
क्या
sir.
प्रॉब्लम दे रहा हूँ?
Yes, sir.
Great. So अभी इस चीज को कैसा हम लोग फिक्स करेंगे? Okay, there's a small thing which you need to understand in terms of how Excel is created. Okay, whenever you go to any cell value, okay, these are all cells which construct your worksheet, right? Whenever you go to any cell, whether it's an empty cell or occupied cell, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then once you are there, what you do is if you press Control 1, okay, Control 1 is the shortcut key. If you can, if you both can open an Excel and just press Control 1 on your screens and let me know what you see on the screen.
Should we do it?
Yeah, please go ahead and do it. Try open a blank Excel or the same Excel file which I shared with you on email. You can open up that and you can press Control 1 and let me know what you see on the screen. Are you able to open up Control 1?
So format cells open.
Correct. That's great. Rashmi, are you also able to see the format cells?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ये format cells है ना, there's a shortcut key called Control 1. At the same time, you can go to the Home tab, and under the Home tab, there is this number formatting, right? यहाँ पे हमारा सब formats लिखा हुआ है, right? या अगर आप ये general को click करोगे, तो you will see all the formats which you see it on the format cells menu. ये सब cells, ये सब formats आपको ये drop down में दिखेंगे, right? So what you see is this is a shortcut key. ये जो है ना नीचे का arrow, if you click on that arrow, again it will take you to format cells menu. अगर ये menu आपको access करना है, the shortcut key is Control 1. Always remember that. Okay. In this format cells, you will see there are numerous menus. This is a menu where you can give any format to your cell. Okay, number, currency, आपको जो चाहिए, date, time, everything is there. Then you can also do the alignment, whether it is central align, left align, or right align, or in the center, uh, or maybe justify or distributed. ये सब अलग अलग किस्म के options हैं. You can do it horizontal as well as vertical. You can also do an orientation of your text. Your text can appear in this particular manner also. It can appear horizontally and vertically, both the ways. Okay, it depends on what degree are you trying to do it. Or you can also wrap your text. You can also merge your cells. At the same time, यहाँ पे fonts हैं जो हम लोग को यहाँ पे दिख रहे थे ऊपर top पे. These fonts, font size, all these options are available over here. You can even strike through. Okay, I'll just briefly cover these things. I think I have less than 3 minutes on the counter. So let me generate a new link and you guys please join that new link and we will continue from there. Okay, is that fine?
Okay, sir.
Sure.